Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you all back here on the Life of the Young Film Professionals. Tonight's really meaning a lot to me, and it's going to mean a good portion to all of you as well. Before we even get into anything, I'll tell y'all know the routine. I want you guys to like, share, and comment as we go through tonight. Get this out there. Truly, I am loving the support that you all are giving this platform. To all of my guests thus far, I thank you. To those that come, please, I'm going to be calling you. So just thank you guys so much for all the love and the support. Tonight is really something special. For those in the industry, we all know that a great pillar of the industry has transitioned, Mr. Bernard Phillip II. And I have a couple gentlemen that were some of his students and colleagues and they work with him. And I want to bring them on so we can just love on them and learn about them and also share the life, the love, and now the legacy of Mr. Bernard Phillip. So let's welcome to the stage Reverend Andre Pressley and Mr. Queondric Boykin. I thank you guys for being here tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're happy to be here.
What's going on,
Yes,
everybody? Glad to be here.
I'm saying these are some fine working gentlemen, and I'm saying I love the fact that y'all got Mr. Bernard right in the middle. I love that. I love that. Truly, I do.
That's our man. That's
So
our guy.
I do want to take a moment. I do want to take a moment and learn about each of you a little bit more. So whomever want to go first, we want to keep the same rhythm. See, look at that. Look at that.
I'll go
Uh,
first.
Mr. Boykin, I think that you were nominated to go. So tell me a little bit about how long you've been in funeral service, where you started, what motivated you to get into funeral service.
So I had no knowledge, no desire to be in funeral service. These guys over at Phillip and Sons did a service for my uncle, and I was at the cemetery, and I had on a nice suit, and one of them came up to me and was like, "Would you like to work in funeral service? You fit the statue." So, and I think the next 2 days or so, I was out here for an interview with Mr. Bernard himself. So that's how that went, and I've been here for going on my 6 or 7 years now. I started like in April of 2019. That may be a little inaccurate, so I don't know. So it's like maybe late 2018, early 2019. So we
Okay.
started out September 6th, 2018. So not long after had been founded. So yeah, no desire. So everything that I know in field service today, I owe to this man right here. So he started with a clean slate for me, and his passion for funeral service kind of basically poured into my cup, and I fell in love with it. So he convinced me. So this is what I wanted to do with my life.
Wow.
So thank him for that. So go ahead, Mr. Preston.
I think I started funeral service at 12. My grandfather owned a funeral home right here in our city of Gainesville. Um, so he would allow me to work funeral services with him, my dad, and my aunties and uncles. And that was kind of the start of it. I remember as a little boy, I kind of fell in love with a guy named Joseph Duncan. He's the co-founder of the Duncan Brothers Funeral Home here. His staff, his demeanor, and where he was always in control of people, emotions, if you will, and being able to guide them in a difficult time was always an eye opener for me. And so I was actually teaching, and I came to visit my loved one here about 4 years ago now. It was during COVID, and Mr. Bernard kind of stopped me in my tracks and asked me that I wanted to pursue funeral service even more. And that was kind of how it started for me here.
Interesting. That's actually Reverend Presley. Not surprised. Not surprised that you have some years under your belt. Not surprised. Quandary. I am surprised that you had no prior funeral knowledge now. So that is two
I
things for me.
always had questions. So how did the body get here, get set up? I just walk into the church and it's there. The flowers, everything, from the lamp to the flowers sprayed to how the casket line is lined up straight with the
Yeah.
casket. Everything. I learned these things, and I was always curious about it, but never wanted to pursue a career or make this my life. So definitely. So
Wow.
it's crazy for me too.
So that two things strike me with this. One, it shows your ability to learn and to adapt. But two, it shows the strong teaching that you really had. And so that like that two things really strike out to me in this moment. And that's why I'm like my mind's kind of blown low key. Um learning because I've been following you on Facebook for quite some time, and to see your level of service and to see all of that and to know that that was all poured into by one place. You don't really see that a lot with the younger generation of funeral practitioners. You really don't. And
Uh,
so some of us have been in multiple areas and different things, but to know that you got poured into by one person and learn from one environment and really have soared is really good to hear. Really refreshing to hear, I should say. Reverend Pressley,
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, you got that clerical funeral director talk. You got it. You really got it. So it doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
And so, I was
y'all got
just
to
saying,
experience the world
go
got
ahead.
to experience that for a week. We experience that every week, multiple times, and we're all just as infatuated as you are every time. It's that serious for us. So go ahead.
I love it,
Go
man.
ahead, Reverend Presley.
Um, I didn't even hear the question. He started. Repeat your question to me. He started. He always does that to me,
Fair
man.
question.
Okay. No, I have nothing, man. That's it. I'm really, well, I guess I could say this. Um, I want to give kudos for a moment, to everyone in funeral service. Uh, our boss, learned everywhere he went, and everywhere he went, he brought something back, and it allowed us to find our avenue in funeral service through him. So yeah, I've kind of always been around funerals, but I had never been able to get up and do what I've done since I've been at Phillip and Sons. And it was actually my boss who said to me, he had heard me preach one day and told me to tell a story at a funeral. He said that a family would love to hear it, and that was kind of the start of how that whole thing even started. And then what I thought was good at sometimes, he would tell me, no, 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 you got more in you. You got more that you can bring out. And that would encourage me to kind of dig deeper and be able to, what I like to say is, manage the emotions of families during the most difficult time.
Yes. And that's a testament of a good leader to pull out of you what he sees in you. That really
Yeah.
is. And when it comes to Mr. Bernard, people really don't know. I had Bernard on my schedule to be one of my guests on on his platform, and I talked to him a couple weeks before he transitioned, and he had some advice to give me. And every time, whether it was at a convention, I had his number, so I will call him every year. Anyway, we didn't talk often, uh, but he was like, yeah, it's a good idea, but I think you should do it this way. It would be better if you said it like this.
That's it.
And just those little small innuendos, it was just like I can only imagine what it was to be in a constant, continuous presence and teaching, because he actually told me, and I don't mind saying this in public. And while he at we were in Baltimore at a convention, and he looked at me. He said, "You look nice, but I do want to tell you that your jacket is too small. Your sleeves are too short. Just want to let you know that. They might not say to you, but I thought they need to tell you." And so I was like, "I barely know you, and you like kind of like, but thank you." And
Yeah,
truly, I got another jacket, but it was okay.
yeah, that's right.
But that actually made me respect him a lot more, because I'm in a room with thousands of my people. I'm shaking a lot of hands, and no one said, "Hey, your jacket sleeves are too short." But he sure did let me know. And so, but that's just something, you know. But I say all that to say it really puts me in a place where I can only imagine how much he poured into you, because even from the outside looking in, the the way the how particular of excellence he really was, I can only imagine, you know, how much he poured into you, or how much he corrected you with constructive criticism, and even this the amount of knowledge that he had. It was, I can just imagine how much you guys were really taught, and that's something that I really am encouraged by, to know that a great leader poured into great people, and that's just something that. And so, go into talk a little bit about, you know, one, how it was working with Bernard. I have to know this. I have to know.
Woo.
Well, uh, I got the privilege to be with him pretty much every day, during the week, Monday through Friday. So everything is a learning experience with him. Uh, as you mentioned, he's not one to hold his tongue about anything. So if he sees you doing something wrong, he's going to correct you. He's going to do it his way. So that's one of the things I respected about him. And I really tried to take heed to the things he would say in the prep room. That was our bonding. I feel like where we bonded the most at. So in the prep room, he would quiz me basically every day, basically hand me this, hand me that, but he would use the term that you would have to use on a test or something, and wait till I get it. He won't help me out. Like I said, grab it. What do you think it is? So like he would do stuff like on services. If you do something wrong, as soon as you walk out of the door and he has a chance to correct you, you're gonna get it dressed down. That's what we love it. I appreciate those things today because he prepared us for this day, and I mean it when I say that. With every little his attention to detail is just it prepared us. So all of the staff really were prepared. He treated us the same. Nobody got treated differently or took lightly on. It was everybody treated the same, and he treated us like family. And I can't say enough about it. Really, on the impressed.
Um, so it was kind of crazy because not only did I get to experience being his coworker, but I got to experience being his preacher.
Wow.
And I think I got to see the transition. Uh,
Mm,
and it was him going from pursuing the promise to living in the promise.
My God.
And that was my learning experience every day. I'm what they would call in funeral service the front end nigga. So I'm what that's what they would call it in funeral service, right? So the prep room, all of that stuff, I can be there. That's not my end. uh, so I'm fine with being there. I'm fine with all. Listen, y'all. I will hang out with y'all in there. Don't ask me to touch nothing. Don't ask me. I dress, but as long as y'all prep, don't ask me to do nothing else. And I love y'all, but
you dead serious, bro.
so serious. Texting about to tell you. And so So I got to experience all of the office work with him, right? And that was him writing his visions out. I remember we had a conversation one day. This was before the Alachua location had opened up, and we had a service that's just on the outside, probably about 3 miles away from the Alachua location. And we was riding, and we rode past where the Alachua location is now. And he said to me, "I'm gonna get me a funeral home in Alachua." And I said, "You crazy? You told me you was going to Gainesville, and that was gonna be it for right now." He said, but I think Alachua needs me." And 2 years later, he opened up in Alachua. And for me, that was huge. My father died when I was at a young age, and so I didn't get to really see the determination from a man that a lot of people in funeral service may have gotten. And that was the game changer for me. That was okay. This man said it, he did it, and he's thriving in it. That was the key for me to find my lane, find my area, and thrive in it.
Wow. I didn't. Wow. That's just. I'm just in a place of wow. Like, so if you could, I'm gonna do two things. Okay.
Absolutely.
I want you both to tell me. I know it's probably a lot. But tell me one of the most memorable moments, whether it was a candid moment. Because I seen a video that Queondric posted, he was in the prep room talking about everybody got the schedule, so they're late. You get sent home. Like I saw that, and I was like,
Yeah,
that's my
yeah,
kind of guy. Because to be
yeah,
early is to be on time. Anyway, so I want you guys
yeah.
to both tell me a memorable moment. Whether this was a candid moment, whether this was a heart to heart moment, just tell me one memorable moment. And then I want you guys to tell me one of the greatest things that Bernard has taught you.
Mm, wow.
I'm going to go first.
Wow. My first moment would be I had experienced a tragedy in my life, and Bernard was the one to deliver the news to me,
Wow.
and we were getting ready for work, and I was literally able to cry on his shoulder for a moment.
Mm.
Uh, we got to the church where we were supposed to have the service, and it was still on me heavy. We sat in the car, and in 10 minutes, he taught me the greatest lesson that any man has ever taught me. He said that the world does not care about men's feelings, and that we had to pick up our feelings, put them aside for the greater good of what God has called us to do. And he
Wow.
quoted to me something that T.D. Jakes had said. T.D. Jakes said that I would hate to die and not do what I've been called to do. And that struck me. And I immediately had to wipe my tears. The Negro took his handkerchief out and gave it to me to wipe my tears.
Wow.
And that was that was my moment.
Wow. Quandary.
What was the next question? I think, let me have a next question.
Go to your moment first, and then we'll circle back.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
a moment, a good moment. Uh, okay. I guess I'll use this moment. I never talked about this with anyone. I went to, I lost my mother last year
My God.
in August 20th, April 20th. I lost my mother. And I was just devastated. I didn't come to work for a week, I think. But long story short, the Bernard came and made arrangements with us, And he kind of pulled me aside after the arrangements were over, and he said, "Just you all just bring me what you have, and we'll make do with the rest." I won't disclose the number that we brought him, but we had
Wow.
services. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
The food package, everything on top of everything. But I never told anyone that. But
Wow.
that was just who he was as a person.
Wow.
And it wasn't just people like me. It was just families that he had grew up with or people he knew. I posted a video on my story the other day, yesterday actually. He said, "Granted, we need a little bit of money, but we don't need all of it." He definitely instilled in us not to try to get rich off of one thing.
Yeah.
Never. So his cutting breaks and helping people out did start with me. Plenty of people. That's just the guy he was. So yeah, never talked about that with anyone. But I thank him for that, and my family definitely thanks him for that. And I take it not even what was it, a month later, I lost my mom's mom. So he stepped in again and came and was there. So
Wow.
can't thank him enough. So
Man, y'all warming my heart up over here a little bit. My God.
I mean,
It's this
you
guy.
getting stuff out there talking about a good moment.
Almost made me, almost made me shed tears on this platform.
I'm saying, I was like, whew, Lord Jesus. But it's all right. Now, I'm circling back to Queondric probably wants this to happen. I'm circling back to you, Reverend Pressley.
Oh,
Tell me
okay.
one of the greatest things that Bernard has ever taught you.
Woo. Uh,
Now,
this is
while he's getting it together, Queondric, you should have your answer by the time I get to
right.
you.
um, honorable mention on never want to be late for a funeral. That was his, like, that was Saturday mornings. I would get a call 6 a.m. no matter what time the funeral was. I don't never want to be late for a funeral, get to the funeral. I don't never want to be late for a funeral. So that's honorable mention. Uh, I think the greatest lesson he taught me was how to manage people. I watched him, and he never had a blueprint to it. It was him being patient and being slow to speak. It was him being a listener more so than a talker. It was him. It was him being a lover, not a fighter. Him wanting to please the family and really give them service beyond expectations. I thought that that was kind of when I came on staff. This is the true story. I told my mom, I said, "Mama, what all would people expect anyway from a funeral? Like the slogan is service beyond expect. I mean, they can't expect nothing more." And then he showed me how we can really go beyond people's expectations in ways that they have no clue about. And so I think managing people, it would be the greatest lesson he taught
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Warm heart, man. Uh, nah, but this greatest lesson, this is easy for me. Cause he was just a great man, period. So how he went about his life, I took many lessons
me.
from that. How he was with his kids. Uh, we It was plenty nights here. We stayed here till 12 o'clock, and no matter what we did that day or anything, he's gonna stop by his mother's house to see his kids after work. It's innate. We know that's gonna happen. He keeps his woman, his wife happy. I took that. I took tokens from him on keeping my woman happy. It was his birthday. He ordered flowers for her on his birthday. He said, "Keep your woman happy." Stuff like that. How to dress. I was fresh coming into this, so I took a lot of stuff from him. He was clean. He stayed
What?
clean.
Yeah, he was.
What? To the T.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that. Keeping your car clean. Little stuff like that. he trained us up with keeping your house clean. He said it's stuff to stay clean in everything that you do. It's stuff like that. Life tokens I took from him. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. And I know, I do. I don't, I take that back. From the outside looking in, I can only imagine how the void that you guys feel right now. I can only imagine. And I really give kudos. If I wore a hat, I would take it off. But I really give you guys so much props to not only the both of you, but the entire Phillip and Sons name, family, friends, just for keeping it going. You guys really don't know. Your firm spoke volumes to the funeral community. Days after he transitioned, you guys gave away turkeys to the community. That was a testament of who he was. It was a testament to his teaching. It showed what he instilled in you, and the fact that you guys did not allow the community to feel the hurt that you guys felt was really inspiring. Because although, because you know how the community can be. Oh, but Bernard passed. It might not be the same, but you guys still held the expectation and you guys still carried on. And that alone speaks so much volume to the community, um, to the funeral industry. And I'm telling you, when I saw that, I said, they giving turkeys away. Whereas some firms, when they lose their owner, their teacher, they close down for 2 weeks
Yeah.
and all their calls go elsewhere. But it was still, you guys understood that there was still service that had to happen. We're not saying, of course, the seating care service, but there was still community service and there was still stuff that had to happen to keep the name going, to keep his legacy alive. And that's really inspiring because, again, I'm telling you, I've been in a place where firms have shut the doors, diverted all their calls elsewhere because they were trying to figure out what was next. To know that you guys still service loved ones, still did community stuff, all while still planning his homegoing
Yeah.
was it's beautiful. It just that's I don't have any words. I don't even know what to even say.
If I may say something, even now, I think Bernard's probably standing at the bank of a river called Jordan, singing the Clark Sisters song, "Is My Living in Vain?"
Yes,
I
sir.
got it.
and "Is My Dying in Vain?" And we got to stand over here in the land of the dying while we're on our way to the land of the living, shouting, "Of course not." And the way we shout that is through our acts of service.
Yes.
And I got to tell everyone, on behalf of everybody here at Phillip and Sons, thank you to the entire funeral home industry across the world. Um, the outpour of love from you all keeps us going. Um,
Yeah.
it has been, to say the least, it's been incredible, incredible.
Yeah, we get a lot of calls, a lot of text messages from a lot of
Mm,
different people in the funeral world. So, yeah, and
thank y'all.
they encourage us every day. They keep texting, keep checking in on us. Can we do anything? We really do appreciate it, all of us over here at Philip.
Seriously, seriously.
Yeah.
So y'all keep us going.
It was my goal. It was my goal to be there, but service had to go on. So I had to, stay here in Delaware. But my heart was there with you. My prayers was there with you all. And I think I spoke to you, Quandric. I don't know if it was the day of or the day after the service. Just giving you guys kudos. That I
Right.
didn't I didn't know who else to call. I don't have anybody else's information. But I wanted to let you guys know, top tier.
Our our drive to carry on. I tell you when I realized we have to carry on any means necessary. Uh, it was a week. We had a big service, big service. We packed up a room. I remember the time I
Oh,
stayed.
yeah. Uh,
Uh, Bernard wasn't with us. He was
mhm.
going through something with his health, and he was in the hospital, so he wasn't with us. We had to do, and he was on us. Everything. He on the cameras all through the week. On the cameras watching us. Hey, this go here. This go right here. Hey, 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 hey. And then he delivered.
Mm.
Service was beautiful. He's on live watching, telling us everything we need to know.
Yeah.
And he came back, I believe, on Monday after he came to work, and he told all of us, he said, you all took care of my baby. I can't thank you all enough. I almost had a heart attack in there trying to
Yeah.
think about my baby.
Yeah.
And y'all took care of it for me.
That was
So
the first time I had seen him cry.
yeah, it was deep.
Outside of the loss of his grandmother, that was the only time I had seen him cry. And he really meant it. And if anybody know Bernard, you know he talked his trash, but he was definitely sincerely thankful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's when I realized, this is his life, and he's really invested a hundred
Yeah.
percent in this, and it means a lot to him. And it just, like I said, poured into all of ourselves, and we have to keep it going. That's what
Yeah.
I feel like, and I feel like I
Yeah.
speak for everybody.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And tell I didn't know, kind of like shifting into the celebration of life. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, I can't wait to see what Phillip the Son's going to do because that thing that thing is going to be it's going to be nice. I said Bernard done stepped all over this country. I said he done known a lot of people.
Yeah.
I said he done served a lot of people. I said it's gonna be nice, but I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. So when I was watching, I'm like the flowers, the unit he was resting in. I said they done done it. They done done it.
In that, I must say, and this is the opportunity where we give kudos to, away from staff, away from friends, just the Phillips family.
Definitely,
Mom, dad, sisters, his wife, his children, the Phillip family.
as his entirety.
They did the doggone thing. They Bernard was such a man that he could see in the oblivion, and he kind of orchestrated how he wanted his celebration of life to
That's what
go.
I was about to say. I won't give
Yeah,
anybody else too much
and
credit.
so to for them to be
He
able
did his own thing a little bit.
to stick to the T, stick it to it, and everyone was on board. Like if that's what he want, that's what we'll do. And you see what he wanted.
You know,
Impressed.
people, you know how grief is, and it affected us in a way.
Yeah,
Everybody was emotional. Everybody has their own feelings, but you have to put that aside and get the mission done.
yeah,
And I give kudos to everyone around us. We did it, and we're still doing it. So
Yes,
it's good.
that that is so I'm telling you, I've never been really lost for words. I talk all day, even in my sleep. So I've never been one to be lost for words. But that is truly inspiring and testament to his life and just how particular he was. And I'm just really blown away to even learn that. There was three. The whole service was nice. Please don't get me wrong. There was three memorable moments that I had at this service. I haven't cried in like a couple years, like real tears.
yeah,
But it was something about Bernard passing that really like struck me. But when his son got up there and spoke at his father, let me tell you, I was like, what's so strong? Oh my god, what? I couldn't do that.
yeah,
It was real. That shows the strength that the Phillip family has.
yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing that. One, I'm gonna say that. There's no way that I could get up there and do that at my father's service for all those people, such at a young age, and stand 10 toes down and give the remarks that he get. I'm telling you, I was like, that little boy's so strong. That boy got it.
That's the second coming of Bernard right there.
That is.
That's the second coming
I'm
of
telling
Bernard.
you. And then my second one, and I pray that Kendall, please show your father this. I know you're watching. When that Daryl Watkins got up there, and I never in my life known that someone could revelate a catafalque and a church truck the way that man did. I'm telling you, I'm just.
Big shout out to Mr. G. Watkins, man. I'm a fan,
Shout out
man.
to the whole Watkins.
All y'all.
They came running. I mean, everything they assisted in anything we needed.
Wow.
Shout out to the Watkins family. That's our second. That's Bernard's home team up there. That they came and took care of them. Like,
yeah.
We can't thank them enough.
Absolutely.
Now, when I heard the officiant announce, Mr. Watkins, Daryl Watkins' name, I was like, I know he's going to tear it up. I don't know what he's going to say or how he's going to say it, but if Daryl Watkins can't do nothing else, he can put some words together that can tear the whole building apart that you didn't even think could go in the same sentence. I'm telling you.
How dare you?
When the Reverend Andre Pressley reached the podium, and when this man, he went, I'm telling you, I don't know, y'all might not know him or not, but I learned about Mr. Reverend Andre Pressley at the service. I don't know if you guys know him, but I learned about him. But when this man got on that microphone and talked about Spider-Man, and I never met someone who could turn Spider-Man into scripture and okay, and then to say, if anyone's wondering about Phillip and Sons, to be I was in my office it took me up in my, I'm telling you, co-workers asking, what is wrong with you? To be continued.
Yeah.
Amazing. Superb. Whatever word you want to use, it was just that. The entire service. It really, really was. And the enlargement and I don't have a lot of words. It was just, I didn't know what Phillip and Sons were going to do, but I know it blew my mind beyond expectations. I tell you, it was.
Hey, what about that headstone though?
Did you see it?
Headstone?
I was getting to that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carnegie and the Monument team, man.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I said, no, wait.
They blew our top off with that. We was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I called one of my brothers in ministry. I said, did you see that black stone they put on that grave? He said, what do you mean? I said, you better go to Facebook, figure somebody out. You got to find it. I'm not sending it to nobody, but y'all need to see it. Then when they put the flap, I said, Michael Jackson wasn't laying the rest like this. Bernard laid the rest like a king. That's a king right there, Doc. I'm telling you everything about it, and just to see, I often say, the death care industry, we are a community, and honestly, to see the level of support, not only throughout from the time that we all learned, and I tell you, I was on Facebook like, what is happening? But from the time that we all learned to the time of the service, to see the support, to see we're standing with you, we're here, pray for the Phillip and Sons, Phillip family, Phillip and Sons funeral, pray, all this stuff. But to see the outpouring of love and support at the service blew me away. And that is something that I really harp on in this with this platform is we have to remain a community. And so that's something that I really I don't take lightly. I every guest that comes on here, I make sure that we are connected afterwards. This is all about community. I need you, you need me, not even just for business standpoint. I need you to encourage me. I'm going to encourage you because at the end of the day, this has to go on. And our veterans, our pioneers, they are laying down their life on this side now, and it's becoming all in our hands to carry on this industry that people really don't know what it takes, but this industry has to carry on through us, and so we have to remain a community. And so this Bernard in his passing has taught me a lot. It really has. I know it has taught you all a lot. And I really commend you all for keep going and everything of that nature. There's two things I want to do before we do end tonight. One thing, and I'm pretty sure I know who is going to be nominated to talk. I ain't going to say no names, but I'm going to see who's going to turn up to talk. But I want to know, what is one thing that you would love to get, that you would love the funeral industry to get back to? If you can, I want to know one thing that you would love to see the funeral industry get back to. Now, whoever speaks, the opposite is going to begin our encouragement.
I nominate Reverend Q.
I second that motion.
One thing I think the funeral industry should go back to. I'm gonna speak on it. I'm gonna speak on it.
Safe space.
I think the funeral industry should go back to being we're colleagues and not competition.
Yeah, that's great.
And I say that especially in this city, our city of Gainesville. I'm gonna speak on it. I won't say too much, but another firm of ours is trying to poach our family, and even in a time like this. So it just shows you the lack of respect, the lack of just compassion that they do have for others and other people's families. So it's just it truly it makes me sick to my stomach really when I see other I go to other cities when I see other funeral homes and they are one big happy family and then I come back home and it's a wreck here in Gainesville and I won't even speak light about it. It's a wreck, man. And we need to go back to that. I feel like.
Yeah. That is so true. So true. I see that happening here in Delaware. It's more competition based than it is colleague based. I say this. I've been saying it my entire career. There's not one funeral that could bury everybody.
Yeah.
And even if you could bury everybody, why would you want all that stress? All them first calls, all them arrests. Who would want to do that? I want somebody across town. I'm telling you. So it just amazes me. Like, what sense? And I said this last week, and those who are watching may remember. I said this last week. What sense does it make if I go and take all of your all of your business so I can eat, and now someone in my community that's opposing my colleague is now hungry? What sense does that make? That's not what this is. That's not what I should be able to call anyone from Delaware to Florida to California, down to Texas, back to Arizona, and we all should be on the same page, helping each other, and that's Queondric. You hit it right on the one. I'm telling
Long live Reverend Q.
you. Long live Reverend Q. So, before we do close, I want to take this moment and I'm glad. Oh, we're closing with Reverend Pressley. So I want to take this moment because you guys are really a source of strength to the funeral industry right now. And I want you guys to, Reverend Pressley, if you don't mind, I would love for you to take a moment to encourage all of those, young practitioners, older practitioners, the death care industry as a whole, that how to stand strong in the time of loss. And this can stem personal loss. This can be like you guys lost your leader. How to stand and keep going in the time of loss. If you don't mind taking a few moments to shed some light on that, if you can.
Um, and is the Lord would never put more on you than you can bear. I think that He'll put so much on you so that you can't bear it, so that He'll show you that He can bear it for you.
My goodness.
And I think that's the area that we are living in right now as an industry. As much as we want to shed the effervescence of our industry across the world, I think all of us need to realize that we need God's help. Um, Howard Washington Thurman, the mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., said that there's a strength beyond our strength, giving strength to our strength. And so,
Ooh.
in that, we've got to use Jesus as a source of strength. If I can't leave you all with this story, a little girl one day decides that she's going to go to the grocery store with her grandmother. As they enter the grocery store, the little girl finished their shopping and they end up at the cash register. The cashier asks the little girl, says, "Little girl, would you like some candy?" She says, "Yes, sir, I would love some candy." He takes a jar of candy from his backside and then offers it to the little girl. She looks at the man and looks at her grandmother. She says, "Sir, you get the candy." He reaches his hand into the jar, grabs a handful of candy out, gives it to the little girl. Upon leaving the grocery store, that girl's grandmother said something that I know my grandmother has said to me, and I hope some of y'all grandmama said to y'all. She said, when you have the ability to do something yourself, you do it. The very next time they went to that same grocery store, that same little girl found that same cash register. Upon that same cash register was that same cashier. He said, "Little girl, would you like some candy?" She said, "Sir, I would love some candy." He takes a jar of candy from his backside, offers it to the little girl. The girl this time looks at her grandmother, looks at the man, takes a deep breath, and says, "Sir, you get the candy." He reaches his hand into the jar, grabs a handful of candy, and gives it to the little girl. Right before the girl could receive it, the grandmama knocked the candy down and said, "Tell me, why is it that you keep asking this man to get the candy when you have the ability to get the candy yourself?" The girl looked at the man, took a deep breath. She said, "Granny, have you seen his hands?" And Granny said, "What about his hands?" The girl said, "Granny, his hands are bigger than my hands, so he can get more candy with his hands than I can get with my hands." So to everybody that's sharing the effervescence of our funeral industry together, you can't do it by yourself. You can't do it alone. You've got to put everything you're doing in the hands of God because his hands are bigger than ours.
That's
Get, get.
you ain't finished out. Oh, 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 oh.
Mighty God! Mighty God! Mighty God!
Oh man.
Listen, I thank you both. This by far has really meant a lot to me, and I've laughed more on this podcast episode than I have the entire platform. This really blessed me. Gentlemen, I continue to be in prayer for you, his family, the entire staff. Keep going. We love you. We stand with you. You know, and I can say I really, really wish I could do more besides say words. And I really want you guys to know if there's anything, and I want to say, if there's anything that Raheem Watson can do or Congo Funeral Home can do, you let us know. I'm going to be sure that it takes place. I thank you both for your yes. Queondric has my number. Pass it up to Reverend Pressley, because again, my goal is to stay connected with all of my guests moving forward. And again, I thank you guys so much. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I thank you. This platform can't be anything without you. And so I truly say thank you for your support. Thank you for your time every week. And so I truly want to, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you so very much. And we'll tune in next week on the life of the young funeral professionals. I do know it's the holiday, but I still got to shine the light on some people now. So thank you so very much for tuning in. Oh, we all want to take a moment. We want to point at the norm. And thank you.
Thank you. That every funeral director or funeral person in funeral service should go by. It says our goal is to always provide service that is crisp, dignified, and professional. And you can't get down with that. You front row.
And that's it. That's it. That's it.